Finish him off! Finish him off!
He's calling for it!
This is it! This is it! Your career's on the line here! Do it! Do it! This place will erupt when he picks him up!
He's got him up! Oh, hell yeah! 1, 2, 3!
Thank you! Thank you! We've got a new heavyweight champion!
Climb the ladder, kid! Make yourself famous! I just had an out-of-body experience! What did we just see? What did we just see? He got him in power slam! He got him in a power slam! He got it! Simmons got it! Simmons has won the match! Simmons is a champion!
I've always maintained that reality is for people who can't face drugs.
Shit is about to get real.
You'll get to see your knee. Shit.
Look at the stare of the champion against the challenger. What?
And now, Straight Talk Society presents Wrestling with Reality.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport. The biggest match in pro wrestling history.
The two biggest superstars in our sport in the biggest event the sport has ever seen. The biggest match in the history of our sport.
A little scalded dog here. Enough is enough. That's enough. No! Oh, God, that's enough! Stop it! Man, listen. Where it's tougher than a $2 steak. Who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Slam! Toe slam! Who's your daddy, Undertaker? Lucifer's lips are the biggest size in the WWE! Somebody stop this! Somebody stop the damn man! Enough's enough! What? The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
It's got it real! Woo!
WWE Dynamite.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time. Let's rock.
I can't do it. We'll do it live.
So to escape from reality?
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I am reality.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Oh, it's live, pal.
Let the slaughter begin! It is now time for
Wrestling with
Reality.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Junior, look at this.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
number one to be the man, baby! You have to beat the man! Heavyweight champion of the world. The time is now. Reality has become the present, and the final lesson of the pain game has begun. Have you ever heard a joke like that in your life?
You are gonna wrestle my ass for the world title. You will have to kill me to keep me from killing you. Woo!
The 90s have been referred to as the reckoning with truth. In the 80s, everything was clouded. Nobody ever told the truth. In the 90s, the way to go is flat out. Tell no lies. That's the way we're gonna do it. When you hear something from our lips, truth it may be, and as much as it may hurt, you can count on it being exactly the way that it is.
We want the gold, sucker! Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga!
Oh, that never gets old. What is up? Straight Talk Society. This is your host, Trevor, and we are back with another episode of Wrestling with Reality, the realest wrestling show that you're going to get on these YouTube air we got a new concept that we're gonna debut today. See how it works. We tried it out on Man Talk Monday, and it was tremendous. It was the fastest Man Talk Monday we ever did, and we still hit all our topics, and we were out of there in less than 90 minutes. So I am definitely going to try that today because, like I said on Monday, any show that I am on has to be over 90 minutes, with the exception of a show like we did with the Bret Hart show where we're doing a career retrospect. So you can't you can't rush through that. But nevertheless, we'll see how it goes. I am joined by looks like Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I thought it was going to be producer extraordinaire Venkat. I know that their names start with the same initials, but I'm joined by VKM and the political prophet amongst men. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Trevor?
Yeah, you see,
What's happening?
I'm good, man. See, Florida,
Trevor Robinson.
Trevor Robinson. Florida hasn't blown away yet. Hey, to that Robinson point, let me tell you, when I typed that, I was typing it based on what he said at that point. So when he started going off into that other stuff, I'm like, nah, bro, I can't rock with this guy. So what I typed has to go up into that point that he was talking about, because he was making a lot of strong points. He didn't say anything different than what we always say on Monday.
So pretty much what my colleague is saying is that as long as you're a barbarian and a caveman, he's all good. We can have that. We can have those policies run all day long.
Well,
my God,
they called me a misogynist, so which is ridiculous. But you know, it is what it is. I think people throw those terms out because they don't know what they mean. So they like to just put you in a bubble. But I always say it: hot and cold water could come out of the same faucet. So, you know, if sometimes he'll say things. Shout out to Mike in the building. He'll say things. Certain people will say things like, you know, DeSantis says certain things that I like. The majority of his policy I don't. But he hits you. With me, he hits me in the feels when he starts talking about, you know, the LGBT community and all that stuff, protecting your kids from them. So, you gonna always get me when you start talking about that. So,
well, speaking of protecting kids, you know, we got another predator out there, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and if you hadn't seen it, you gotta watch this Netflix documentary.
Okay, so let's get to that. I have not watched it, so I got nothing to add to it.
So I saw already episode 1, and I'm halfway done with episode 2. It is amazing.
Did they drop everything?
Yeah, you can watch everything.
So all 6 of them are out.
Yeah, you can watch everything. Okay, and I love. It's just great to see WWE people in a documentary talking about these things that have been glossed over for decades, and they're addressing stuff that I've talked about on repeat. I mean, they're calling out everything. They even called out the WrestleMania 3 attendance. Oh my God, that 93,000. They going through everything. There's nothing that's not being unturned. And it's just the authenticity. But you know when you're watching a WWE produced propaganda piece, and this is not that. Oh, I'm loving it. I can't wait to see more of this. What's going on, MD?
Yeah, peace. What's going on? What's happening? Yeah, I'm a binge watch it this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Watch it this weekend.
Yeah, if we get time, I guess if we're gonna do a show, I guess the week of when we do the Bad Blood review, you know, everybody should be able to, you know, ingest it by then.
That's what I was thinking. Because I haven't seen it. I didn't know how they dropped it. I heard I knew it was 6 parts, but I didn't know if they were going to drop it weekly or if they were just going to drop it all at one time. So I'll watch it this weekend. I think this weekend I may actually be free. I know next weekend is booked, and then we could come back the following weekend and do a review on it. Since
and having Vince McMahon on there talking about year by year, like WrestleMania, building it up, and it's great stuff, man. It's great to have him on there because he's speaking his mind on certain things. And I was just watching how he was talking about Hogan, how they really felt disrespected when he went to WCW. Shane McMahon called that out. Like he said, even to this day.
Well, we're gonna review it, Venkat. Don't jump the gun. We're going.
No. I'm just saying. I just gotta capsulize that this is no restriction. They really going in on a lot of these. Hey, they talking about Superfly. My God, I didn't think they were gonna do that. Like the Dark Side of the Ring type stuff. Like it's pretty good, man. I really have a lot of respect for what they're doing here.
Shout out to Wisco. What did it say? Wisco Dippers 96. Do you agree with the WWE for? I'm assuming that's erasing Chris Benoit. Also, WrestleMania 7. No, WrestleMania 17 isn't the best WrestleMania ever. If you check out my 5 count, WrestleMania 35. No, not 35. 31. The WrestleMania in 2015 is the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Followed by WrestleMania 19.
It's not.
I wish Keela was in here so she could drop the link to that so you could go watch it real quick. Just look at the channel. Is a folder called 5 Count. You'll see all my different top 5s in there. So I do want to do a different thing of the show tonight because, like I said, I'm almost halfway through. I already committed to watching a movie with my wife tonight. Tonight is going to be a news type show, but we're going to do it in the vein of PTI. Most of you guys, if you watch ESPN, you know what PTI is. Pardon the interruption. Everything they do is time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run through 5 topics with a 15-minute timer. It's going to be crosstalk. That's Venkat's favorite, where he gets to interrupt me all the time. We'll banter back and forth, and then we out of here. I promise you, 90 minutes, we're done. I do want to.
What movie you watching?
Something a TikTok killer or something she wants me to watch with her.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I didn't know the creator of TikTok murdered somebody. I didn't know that. You know?
I don't think that's what it means, but
no, that's what she said. The creator of TikTok. I don't know.
It's a true story.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
TikTok. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Big Money Mike put the link to it in the chat. Look at that. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I do want to say this though before we get into the show. I'm dedicating this show to my partner Brian. If you were there Monday, I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I hadn't talked to Brian. I haven't seen Brian in like 20 years. My cousin reached out to me a few weeks ago. Brian was with him and got on the phone, and we started talking like we had never, been apart. And he's a huge wrestling fan, like gigantic wrestling fan. We talked on the phone for over an hour. He asked me about the channel. I told him I invited him to the Bret Hart show. I was wondering why he wasn't there, but he did say he wanted to start working with us doing some wrestling recaps and stuff like that. Gigantic wrestling fan, kind of like what you see on the channel. Got a call Monday that he died. So that answers my question as to why he didn't come to the Bret Hart show. 44 years old, died of a heart attack. So, again,
that's always the way.
And now we're coming up on the anniversary. Well, I don't want to say anniversary, but we're coming up on the time when Bray Wyatt left a year ago, and that was heart related. So yeah, you guys just
Tito Jackson just died, heart attack.
Yeah, so black men, man, you gotta do stuff to take care of your heart. Put the fried chicken down. I mean, and coming from me, that's hard to say because y'all know I love one thing I don't do is turn down no Popeyes, but sometimes you got to. So rest in peace to Brian, man. I wish you would have been able to come aboard because he was all excited, but even more I wish that he was here. Now you have a mother and a kid planning a funeral for a 44-year-old man. That's crazy. So rest in peace, man. We're gonna dedicate this show to you tonight, man. Just wish you could have been here to come aboard. So
R.I.P.
All right, so no way to pivot from that, but here we go. Let's get into the source material tonight. And the first story that we got on the docket tonight is the strange case of Odyssey Jones. So this comes from Wrestling Inc. This comes from Wrestling Inc. Odyssey Jones, real name Omari Palmer, has been absent from the last several tapings of WWE, with a flurry of discussions emerging around the status in the last few days. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has posted an update on social media regarding the situation, alleging that Jones was taken off of TV after the company learned about a domestic violence claims about the wrestler. There doesn't appear to be any charges filed against Palmer. So that's the key point there. There aren't any charges. All right, MD said he'll be right back. There aren't any charges filed. And you know, and they reached out to WWE for a comment, but they didn't get anything. Palmer had begun making regular appearances on WWE Raw last month, joining forces with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. For the New Day, the trio defeated the Final Testament, blah, blah, blah. Palmer signed with WWE in 2019, with his first televised match taking place 2 years later on an episode of 205 Live. He then spent the next several years in NXT before getting called up in the WWE draft earlier this year, eventually winning his Raw debut match last month. There doesn't appear to be any charges filed against Palmer right now, as Sapp noted that the talent had not been informed. I just double typed that. All right, so I don't know, is MD back? MD, you back yet?
No, I don't think so.
All right, he's not back, but he'll jump in. So Odyssey Jones, Venkat. Odyssey Jones gone. So the thing, the whole thing came about this a couple of weeks ago, where they completely wiped him off of the roster page, and then people start digging and digging. You know how they do. Come to find out that he had a domestic violence charge, and now it's like they completely scrubbed him. Kofi and Xavier Woods are going in a totally different direction. Like he never was on TV for 3 weeks with them. I get it, because I don't know the situation, because nobody knows. There aren't charges filed. But what say you in this situation?
Well, first thing is, it's just alarming how quick WWE is ready to stomp on people or just erase people like that. Now you could say, like with Hogan, with Vince McMahon, with Chris Benoit, that's a little different. This is an up and coming guy here. He doesn't have the name recognition of those other guys, and he didn't even have his day in court. There's nothing that has really come out of this, and we're not even 100% sure if he did it or not. And they already just like, oh, get rid of that nigga. And the quickness in how they did it is kind of off-putting to me. But you know, I don't know. That's just not a good look. WWE put you under the bus so quick. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, especially when you're black, you know they ain't gonna try to take no bullets. That's just crazy. You can have a suspicion or be suspected, and that's good enough for them to take you off the website. Like, my God, I understand not keeping them in this storyline, but damn, that's quick.
So I think he should be suspended. I don't think he should be fired. I don't know if he's fired. Because they aren't saying anything. That's the problem. They need to give a statement like, hey, we're taking them off TV. The easiest thing to do would be, hey, we're taking them off of TV until we get clarity on what's going on, and then we'll make our decision there. You see how easy that was?
But WWE is traditionally not a transparent company. They're very, standoffish and behind closed doors. They're never forthcoming with the truth or information. You'll see. That's just who they are. I mean, I thought it would change, but it seems like a lot of that is still in their DNA.
And so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this is not try to come off. Well, no, I'm gonna just say it anyway. It's for the better that he's not involved in the storyline now, because I love how Xavier Woods is getting like angry, even criticizing Kofi for trying to bring back the pancakes and the bootios and all that foolishness, telling them, hey, you haven't won a match in forever, you know, why don't you get serious type stuff. So I love that. But as far as this guy, I don't think he ever got a fair deal, because he was signed back in 2019. He got drafted 2 years in a row, and they just now brought him up to TV. Here we are, what, 2024? So what's that? Do the math. Was that 6 years? 5 years? So they've had this guy on the roster for 5 years now. I remember when I saw him in the breakout tournament, I'm like, oh man, this is a nice big guy. He could move and everything. But when he came back to TV, he was all flabby and everything, which I could understand, because they got you on the shelf not working, you know, for so long. So I don't know, but my biggest issue here is they aren't saying anything. Like it would be so easy. Hey, we're gonna take him off TV, and until we get some clarity. Because if he is guilty, then you fire him. If he's not guilty, which considering the past things that we've seen just in life general, there's a strong possibility he's probably not guilty, or or things aren't all what they seem. So they need to just be like, hey, we're not, you know, we don't know, so we're just going to take him off TV. We understand you're going to have a group of people that are going to be upset, social justice warriors, blah 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 blah, but we'll take him off of TV,
right,
until we figure out what's going on.
Kind of like what they should have done with Chris Jericho and AEW. Take his ass off TV.
Wait, what?
I don't agree. I don't agree that they should like mention that. It's not their job to mention that.
No, not mention it on TV, MD.
Like put out a PR statement.
Yeah, they need to put out a press release. You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Wow.
Based on the fact that, you know, let's look at it from a wrestling perspective. First of all, you know, let me say this first, because I don't agree with how they did it. If they were going to do anything, write him off some type of way, because he's involved with other people in an angle. It's not fair to them, first and foremost, and just making them vanish. But at the same time, putting out a press release is not their job, especially when there ain't really no facts in the case. You know what I'm saying? If it was facts in the case, yeah, I get it. But there's no facts in anything. I think they should have wrote him off some type of way.
MD,
in the tradition of kayfabe.
If you work for a company, because what Sean Ross Sapp is saying, and we'll get to him later because he was wrong on another story, but what hold on, man.
I hear you. Just give me a second. I got to cut somebody out. Hold on.
Okay. So what they're basically saying is, if he's entered what SRS is saying is that the talent don't even know what's going on. So if he was working with Kofi and Woods, and like one day this guy's here, next day he's not, what are you telling them? Well, I don't know. Did they tell him anything? I don't know.
I think that you know what MD is saying, I don't agree with, because I think you 100% you do need to give some sort of press release. You are a media entertainment company, and your characters and your people on the roster are in the limelight. They're in the public. So you can't just have something like that happen and not give a general explanation. You don't have to do everything under the moon, but just give some basic statement like what Trevor's saying. I think that's reasonable. I think that makes sense. And another thing, to the point Trevor made about, here's the guy that was signed all these years and hasn't really been able to get any traction or do anything that's worthwhile. Watching the show Heels. I've been trying to see that show forever. Was on Stars, and I never had Stars. So now it's on Netflix, and I'm watching it. And there's a character on there that's he's trying to leave the lower rated indie area that they're at and go up to something bigger. And one of the characters on the show said, you know, you're a big dog over here. You go up there, you'll just get lost in the shuffle. They probably won't even use you. And, you know, so when Trevor, you're saying this stuff, it reminded me about that show. Anybody not seen, if you like wrestling, you got to watch Heels, man. It's really good damn show.
Yeah, Mike is saying Mike saying he was trying to put you up on it. Shout out to Bones in the building.
Yeah, Mike did mention it. Mike did mention it for sure.
So I'll say this: when he, like I said, I saw him in the breakout tournament when they signed him pre-COVID, and I may have seen him on NXT TV. Now, granted, he's been with the company for 5 years. I may have seen him on NXT TV 10 times, if even that, in 5 years. A guy that big, that athletic, former football player. They love their football players, and this is in NXT. So I can't even blame Vince McMahon for this. This isn't Vince McMahon having his hands on him. This is Triple H's NXT not utilizing him when they were utilizing Keith Lee as their top champion. So we can't
shouldn't Shawn Michaels get the blame?
Well, no, this was pre-Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay.
This was 2019. So this is when Keith Lee was a champion. So this is like, so you can't even say like, oh, Triple H doesn't want to push the black guy. He had Keith Lee as his champion. Yeah, we're talking about Odyssey, Bones. So you have this guy. I just can't understand why they had this guy just sitting and catering. And it goes back to my point. I've said this every show we do. WWE could stand to lose 30% of their roster. AEW can cut like 15% of their roster and just let them go do their own thing because it'll make the product better. And we got two more stories to touch on later that's going to prove that point. MD, did you come back? Or are you still cussing somebody out?
Nah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm here. Like I said, I get your point. All I'm saying is, it's not up to WWE. If something is under investigation and not proven, it's not up to WWE to put out a press release or some type of public relations damage control for something not proven. Like I said, if it comes out, water under the bridge, hey, put out a statement, it's already set in stone because we did what we needed to do in order to get him off of TV. My thing is, if I'm looking at it from a kayfabe perspective, that's all I'm looking at it as. It should have been done better based on the fact that he was involved in an angle with other people. And it made them look stupid. You know what I'm saying? So in that regard, I can see both points. Me personally, I wouldn't have done it the way they did it, but I understand why they did it.
So MD, Kirk Cousins being wiped, that we wiping Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons and not telling you anything, just wiping them away. Alleged domestic violence charges.
Yeah, I mean that's different. That's different circumstance because it's a different industry. Like,
no, what's different about it though?
Because
nothing different, MD.
Again, if we looking at it solely on the basis of if you were a promoter trying to skew lines, even up to the points that we are now currently in the day and age of social media, kayfabe really not existing like that. If you look at it from that perspective, that's how I'm trying to look. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm trying to look at it from that perspective. It's not up to that company based on the way we do things here in wrestling, generally, for me to put out a statement based on allegations, not charges, by the way, allegations. It ain't up to them. It's just not.
So Mike is
and to be honest, even if you want to use that example with the Falcon, if it's allegations, it ain't up to them either.
So Mike is saying it's different because the NFL is financially and socially linked with the media. WWE not so much. So MD, let me ask you a question, because you brought up the kayfabe aspect maybe 3 or 4 times. Have you been keeping up with the New Day storyline?
I mean, bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. Yeah, bits and pieces of it. So
let me ask you this question: Is it better with him or without? Because I say without.
Well, it's hard for me to say that because when you see him now for what, 2 weeks?
Well, okay. What we were assuming that they were doing was to link him and Kofi together. That's the way it looked like, because Kofi was the one who was bringing him in, and Woods was like, "Hey, wait a minute, you didn't tell me about this guy." So it looks like that's the way they were leaning, kind of like a replacement for Big E, or it would have led to Big E coming back and giving his blessing to him or anything. But I just thought the whole thing was convoluted. What they're doing now is compelling, because Xavier Woods is like basically
turning heel, basically.
Yeah, Kofi has told him like, "Hey, all right, you take over the team now. Let's see what you do. You take the team over." And they're still losing. So it's going to drive him insane. I think now it's a more compelling story. Like Mike's saying, I think he was, what is it? I think he was there enough to get the Xavier turn. Yeah, he was going to be the catalyst for the turn, but I love the way they're doing it now. Oh God, not a WrestleMania match. Oh Lord, I don't want to see no WrestleMania match with them. But yeah, y'all get your last word. We got 30 seconds.
Go ahead, Venkat.
No, I said my piece on it. I don't think it's right, but I mean, and it's the solution is so simple. Give me a paragraph.
Exactly. And y'all know I don't want to agree with Venkat, man. Exactly. Just say something. You got to say something. Listen, they're doing things completely different now. Just say something. Okay. All right, man, you get a lot done in 15 minutes. Let's move on to the next story. Oh man, I knew this was coming. A blind man could have seen this one coming. So let's get into the next thing in the night. Miro has reportedly requested his AEW release. Now this comes from the Wrestling Observer. After having not wrestled since last December, we're almost in another calendar year. This man hasn't wrestled since December. Miro has reportedly requested his release from AEW. Fightful first reported the news on Friday, adding that he had signed a 4-year extension in the spring of 2022 after inking the initial 2-year deal in September 20. So he went ahead and signed an extension that puts him towards to 2026. That date is going to be very, very important later. The impetus for why the request has come is unknown. Because man, not on TV. The outlet noted there was consideration for Miro to be in the Casino Gauntlet match at August's All In, and that he had pitched working with Jon Moxley earlier this year. The 38-year-old has been used sparingly since the start of 2022, wrestling just 11 times with no appearances this year. His last match was at December 2023's Venkat's favorite pay-per-view, World's End, when he defeated Andrade in the latter's final AEW match before returning to WWE. Now reportedly healthy, the former TNT champion said this past April that he was recovering from both a shoulder and elbow injury he suffered in late 2023 that he finally addressed in January. In the same interviews, he said AEW's head Tony Khan was great, creative, and that he's always thinking about how to get things better. Fightful first reported the news on Friday, adding that he had signed a 4-year extension. All right. So again, I for some reason I'm doubling all this stuff up. All right. So Miro, we knew. I mean, I've been screaming this. I knew this was coming. Miro wants out. Like, what say you guys?
Go ahead, MD.
I don't blame him. Like, at some point in time, Tony Khan is gonna have to get a balance on his roster. Right now, it's very unbalanced. And it's unbalanced with, unfortunately, a lot of good wrestlers not getting TV time, and it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, you know, a lot of the cuts that Tony Khan has made has been with what we would consider low-level guys on the roster. It's ironic because a lot of them low-level guys that you know he let go from their contract are not being successful, especially if we look at like WWE. So, you know, I don't know, man. Tony Khan gonna have to figure something out because the amount of people that he's got on his roster, it don't make sense. The TV time that some guys are getting don't make sense. The shows that you have are not indicative to the amount of people that you have on your roster. And hell, ain't nobody watching them no way. So, you know, he gonna have to figure something out. Just make some cuts, man. Why not?
So MD, did you hear when I said that WWE should cut 30% of their roster and AEW probably 15%? The rosters are too bloated.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all.
And here's the problem too. It's even worse in AEW because they have no storylines. So they're literally just throwing match after match after match. At least if you had a storyline, the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre storyline has lasted almost a year. Think about that. And they only had 2 wrestling matches. If you had more storyline, you could drag things out and utilize these people. Venkat, I mean Miro, I'm a huge Miro fan in WWE. When he first came in as Rusev the Bulgarian Brute and he ran that undefeated gimmick for a year, they protected him so much that they wouldn't even let him get pinned in that Survivor Series match that Sting showed up at. They had him lose via count out off of a splash off of the table. He had one of the best WrestleMania entrances ever with the Tank. Just fantastic U.S. champion of Victor over John Cena. Like just totally underutilized. Wow, hey, somebody told me this one time. On the other side of that grass is dirt. People always think that the grass is greener on the other side, but on the other side is dirt. You go to AEW thinking that you're gonna get all this TV time and you're gonna get used so great. This man had 11 matches like since he's been there. That's crazy.
Well, the grass was greener for a time until they start getting some of that Kentucky bluegrass and all this other stuff coming from other places like Osprey and all that. That's when it got the dirt for him. You know, Tony Khan moved on to another toy is what happened.
But he's
I hope that the grass they're using ain't that artificial turf that the NFL use. People getting hurt.
Man.
But he's way before Osprey though.
That's my point. What I'm saying is, for a time, it was greener for Miro until newer toys start coming up on the shelves for Tony Khan to play with, and that's the issue. Again, I think Tony Khan takes advantage of a lot of these ex-WWE people, thinking that they're gonna get over just based off name variety, but he hasn't created an environment in order for that to happen. He's created a base where the base of AEW fans are simply looking for, like we said, great wrestling, Japan strong style, you know, all, man, you can kill it with a lot of these people.
Yeah, I like Miro, man. I just don't understand how you can have that guy on your roster and you don't know what to do with him. Like, that's ridiculous. We saw Hook versus Jericho at least 2 times.
Yeah,
Miro could have been in there and done some awesome stuff.
To your point, Hook versus Samoa Joe.
I mean,
like Samoa Joe didn't need an opponent when he was champion. And to Bones' point, they're giving away Osprey and Ricochet because if you had a 10,000 seat arena that you could only put 800 people in, wouldn't you give away your biggest match to try to fill it up? That's all that is. They're trying to fill up the building. They can't. That is terrible. Have you seen these pictures going around?
It's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah. For I mean, but that goes back to the number of the amount of people that is considered the AEW fan base. It's small. We all know it. You know, it's committed. I give it that, but it's small.
Yeah, well, if they talk loud. You go into that chat, you go into that group chat and on Facebook, and they give you a mouthful.
It ain't nobody fault. You get blocked from these groups and stuff like that. You can't blame that on nobody.
But so Venkat said that you know you can't believe that they're not utilizing a guy like that. You remember they got Keith Lee on their roster too. They have Powerhouse Hobbs on their roster. They have
imagine a series of matches between those three guys.
They had Wardlow on their roster. They got all these gigantic guys on their roster that could shine some of these little guys up and show them a thing or two, and they just nothing. When the last time you seen the Big Show? Well, Paul White, whatever he's going by, like nothing.
Yeah. Lance Archer, all these guys.
It's like Tony is literally signing these guys. It's okay. This is exactly what it is. It's the same thing WWE was doing in 2020. They were trying to sign everybody to keep them from going to AEW. Now Tony's throwing bigger money contracts at these guys to keep them from re-signing with WWE, but he has no plan for them. No plan.
but that doesn't make a difference, though. I mean, WWE is not gonna not be able to be great if they don't have these guys. I mean, they have so much talent as is already. You know,
they develop stars. AEW don't develop stars. They don't.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mike, you know I agree with that, boy. Why don't we get a big beefy SOB title? Hey, and AEW coined the phrase meat. Like, come on, man. If you got an FTW title, then you can have a SOB, big beefy SOB title. Come on, man.
Yeah, those big guys, they're not regular big guys. They're capable of doing some impressive stuff in the ring. So that's the other part that's frustrating. It's not just Big John Studd versus Andre the Giant. We're not seeing that. These guys can roll around and do things that are very impressive, and you know that just sucks.
Hell,
didn't Dijak sign with TNA?
I don't know where that's another guy. Oh my goodness, man! I watched his series of matches with Keith Lee and NXT. They were great. Some of the best stuff you'll ever see in your life, man, from two giants. That's Jags need a new core. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, if there was a way to get Trevor Lawrence on the Dolphins, I'm taking it every day of the week. I'm taking it. Trevor Lawrence is a hell of a quarterback. I don't care what y'all say. He's just around a crappy team. I'm taking it. What was I gonna say? Oh, so again, though, you got Keith Lee, you got all these guys. Like Tony just stockpiles these guys, and then their contracts run out, and they don't do nothing. So, do you guys think that diminishes your career? Listen, I watched Miro go 15 to 20 minutes with AJ Styles, and it was a hell of a match. So we're not gonna act like Miro can't go, and he's 38. If he comes back. Listen, you could be in the middle of any WWE audience, and if you hear like an open challenge or something, and you hear that Rusev Mashka, man, that crowd gonna go crazy, especially if Lana's with him. That thing worked. AEW brought Lana over there only for them to get divorced. Like Tony, everything he touches fails, man. Like I swear, he's a buffoon. He's an absolute moron. Like for real.
Yeah, and they got rid of Dark to highlight some of this talent that they got that nobody knows. To have these other shows, but you're putting the same talent on all the shows. Like it don't make sense to me, man. It just don't.
So Bones is saying Dijak is on the indie scene. He has a match in GCW. Okay, so he's just working the indie. He's working the indie rounds right now. But the bottom line is this. Miro is signed to 2026. So do you think Tony lets him out of the contract?
Probably not. Because I mean, Tony Khan got a tendency to. Tony Khan got a tendency to let contracts just die. He'll let them expire, and you know that's that. it's rare that he does cuts. You know what I'm saying?
Murrow's getting paid though, right?
Yeah,
he's getting paid. Yeah, in catering.
Forget that. Rest that body up.
You think and I don't disagree with you, Venkat. A 2-year. So if he waits out his contract, that'll put him to 40. I mean, 40 in wrestling is like 20 right now. And he comes back to WWE with a resurgence. I mean, look at what Andrade's doing, man. Like legit, every week in this best of 7 series, you're gonna get a banger between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Like Andrade and Andrade gave LA Knight the best match that I've ever seen LA Knight have. And then when I went to Twitter, like that was the overwhelming thing, is like, holy crap, that's the best match I ever seen from LA Knight. Andrade is awesome, and he has a resurgence. I mean, he's married to Charlotte, so he's going to get an extra little bump, but he's he came back and he's lighting it up. I mean, I don't see why Rusev couldn't come back and be a monster heel, especially now that they're putting so much emphasis on the mid-card title. Can you imagine? Just look at this. Can you imagine LA Knight's doing this whole open title gimmick and Rusev comes out and demolishes him with the accolade? Come on, man. Man, I'd be all here, man. I'd be here for that. Like, woo, man. And I like LA Knight, but I'm just saying, man, you got a guy like Rusev. I think the belts are better on heels anyway. So, you got a guy like Rusev, you bring him in big. So, but I mean, 2026. I don't know if I don't know if Tony's gonna let him out of that contract.
Yeah, I don't think he will. And it does nothing for Rusev. I mean, of course, he'll probably, because I mean, to be honest, him in AEW is the best shape I've seen him in. Like, he in tremendous shape in AEW. Lost a lot of weight, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as the spirit of a wrestler, like, who just want to just sit on the couch? Yeah, you getting paid, but like, if you truly love what you're doing, like, who want to do that? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you got to think about the psychological effect of it too.
I remember one time, MD, you said that hey, Mike says Tony, aka Sadeem, Midas backwards. So instead of the golden touch, what he got, the copper touch, the bronze touch, the stone touch. I remember one time, MD, you said that you like Eddie Kingston because of his body type. He makes you think that you could be a wrestler. That's kind of how I feel about Rusev. Because when I look at Rusev, I'm like, you know what? He's obviously stronger than me, but me and him got similar bills. I'm like, if I was a wrestler, like
don't try that one. Trevor.
That's the guy that I would be.
Who's speaking? Trevor Robinson right now.
That's the guy that I would be. Like, like that stocky build. It ain't, he ain't overly muscular, but he's just a big brute. Like that's I like Rusev, man. I love the package with him and Lana better.
For me, brother.
I like the package with him and Lana better, but I think that if he ever came back to WWE, that they would absolutely bring Lana back. Last question on Rusev: do you ever think if Tony lets him go, that he'd run the independent route?
That's probably the best thing for him to do to get his stock back up, because it's down, way down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you never seen him on TV.
People forget about him.
Like I said, if you could be in the middle of any WWE audience, if you hear that Rusev, everybody gonna go crazy, because they're gonna be like, "Oh crap, Rusev is back," and they'll start doing the Rusev Day, and it'll be the welcome back and all that. Look at Sheamus, man. Sheamus been gone for a year. And Sheamus is just having Sheamus don't miss though. The only thing about Sheamus, he have just fantastic matches, man. That guy's a attribute to the company. So
even though he's a ginger.
Oh, look at that. Hey, Venkat shut off. Look at that. Oh my goodness. All right, MD. Now I'm gonna need you to spear this one, because I have no idea who these guys are.
How do you not know Motor City Machine Guns?
This is gonna be a two-parter. This is gonna be a two-parter. So You have the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. I know Chris Sabin. I'm not familiar with Alex Shelley. Signed with WWE, and this comes from Fightful. The Motor City Machine Guns have signed with WWE. The news was first reported by PW Nexus. Fightful has since confirmed the report. I want you to remember that line. PW Nexus reports that Shelley and Sabin could debut on the October 1st episode of NXT. Okay, so the first CW episode, which is the CW premiere for the show. Shelley and Sabin finished up with TNA Wrestling in March. They have taken various independent dates since departing TNA, including working shows for DPW, Prestige, AIW, and more. And that's from Fightful Select. So now they come back. We finally have some clarity on the Motor City Machine Guns. Earlier this week, PW Nexus reported that the Motor City Machine Guns were headed to WWE. Tonight, the WWE sources have claimed to Fightful that the duo are officially signed. So they got confirmation from WWE. Questions have swirled about their status for months, but details were few and far between. Outside of AEW sources indicating months ago that the duo hadn't been signed and weren't planned for the company. There were some creative pitches there, but they didn't end up happening. Motor City Machine Guns are one of the most decorated tag teams in independent wrestling history, winning tag titles in TNA, ROH, NWJP, GCW, DPW, and more. So, all right, that's the first part of this. So let's get to the next part of this story. The Lucha Brothers have signed with WWE. Fake news. Wonk, wonk. Here we go. This comes from eWrestlingNews.com, and this is where I get all the ratings from. The Lucha Brothers, Penta, and Phoenix are headed to WWE. Following numerous rumors and speculations, the Lucha Brothers have inked a long-term contract with WWE, bypassing NXT and moving directly to the main roster. As we've been reporting here on EWN, Penta has been discussing a potential move to the WWE since the summer. Penta emphasized that he and his brother Phoenix would only make their transition together, and the WWE was eager to accommodate this request. Corey Haynes of PWN, same people that just broke the Motor City Machine Guns, has verified the signings. Multi-year directly to the main roster. WrestleVotes Radio is also reporting that the Lucha Brothers signing with WWE is likely a done deal, as productions of masks, t-shirts, and other promotional material is already in progress. Listen to all this now. The Lucha Bros have been integral to AEW since their debut in the company's inaugural show in 2019. Now this is really interesting here. Penta's AEW contract expired between August and September, and Phoenix contract was also set to expire this year. All right, you ready for this? Update on the Lucha Brothers signing with WWE. Source, eWrestlingNews.com. The Lucha Brothers, Penta and Phoenix, have not signed with the WWE yet. While several reports on Friday, namely you, indicated that the duo has signed a deal with WWE and would be heading straight to the main roster, PW Insider is reporting that this is not the case. The report states that the pair have not only signed with WWE, but are still under AEW contract. With that being said, there is interest in the tag team from WWE until they can sign. They have to be free and clear of their AEW obligations, and that simply has not happened. Due to the fact that they're still under contract with AEW, there's no way they can sign with WWE right now or even have talks with them. The belief is that both men will be signing with WWE when they are free to do so. Rey Fenix is definitely still under a deal, and the team's transition to another company won't be as smooth as possible. This is the reason why I always say on here, don't come on here and make anything up. Make sure that whatever you're going to say is actual and factual. MD, Motor City Machine Guns, and the fake news of the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Gun, that'll be a great fit. I can see them definitely in NXT. You know what I mean? I guess it'll take some time to gain favor of the main roster fans. Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money in the primetime debut episode of Impact on TNN was Spike at the time. One of the best tag team matches I ever seen. That's just a fact. When they won the titles. Chris Sabin, a TNA original. Alex Shelley, a little bit after the fact, in the height of the X Division movement. Yeah, man, great fit. Like they a little long in the tooth, but I can definitely see them getting other tag teams over and maybe revitalizing the tag team division in NXT. They'll probably end up being agents at some point in time. I can see that too. But,
how old are they right now?
I was going to say, how old are they?
That was Chris a long time ago in TNA.
Yeah, Chris Sabin got to be in his he got to be in his early 40s. He got to be. Because, I mean, Chris Sabin, like we talking about beginning of TNA, what, 2003? He's a original.
Right.
So, yeah, I got to say they both got to be in like early 40s. So, but again, they can still go. I mean, hell, not too long ago, Alex Shelley was TNA champion. And shortly before that, Sabin was the champion for a while. So they could definitely still go. You know what I mean? Alex Shelley, I think, one of the best technical wrestlers ever.
It feels like this should have happened 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, they were dedicated to Impact. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with it at all.
So
I see a lot wrong with it.
So Venkat obviously knows about him. I don't know about him, but that's why I wanted to defer to MD, because I know you're a TNA guy. I know the name Chris Sabin. Like, I know Chris Sabin, but I'm not familiar with anything major that he's done. And I've heard Alex Shelley, but again, I don't. Hey, sue me. I don't follow TNA like that. But so Venkat, you think it's too little, too late? I mean, obviously, the money that they're going to get is more than what they're getting in Impact. And again, is what I've always said. Everybody wants to come to WWE regardless of what they say. Even if they're going to come in just on a trial basis, you think these TNA guys that's coming to NXT every week, let me ask you this. You don't think Joe Hendry is the happiest man on earth that he got the main event, an NXT show? He got to be on the big stage and everybody singing this song. Now he's like the most popular wrestler. I had no idea who this is. But now I'm like, I believe in Joe Hendry. Just randomly, I believe in Joe Hendry. Like, it's crazy. Like, it is insanity. So I think if they could bring anything to to my AEW, to the NXT tag division, because the NXT tag division, especially during the black and gold time, was like the hottest thing ever. They've cooled down a lot, but I'd love to see the Motor City Machine Guns, if they're as good as you say, go at it against Axiom and Nathan Frazier, because Axiom and Nathan Frazier, I can't be touched right now. Like, that tag team is on another level. Like that the ridiculousness of that team is crazy.
We'll see with that. I just find it kind of bizarre. That's a long time, man. My God.
And
Venkat, there's a difference.
Venkat, real quick. A lot of people that hadn't signed with WWE is because of the man on your avatar. Now he didn't want him. Now he's getting the chance. Now they're getting the chance. Like, Triple H is like, all right, now I'm fully in control. Who wants to come? We got open borders now.
Yeah, I guess that's right, but it's just weird. It's a tragedy. It's really a tragedy, man. That documentary really shows how important Vince McMahon was, but you can also see how detrimental he was too. Aside from that, and it's just bad. We got a lot of bad wrestling from him. We got a lot of bad moments and situations, and oh man, it's just unfortunate because they could have really done something years ago in WWE. And I don't know if that's going to be the case now.
Even if they get a 1-year run out of them and they end up being agents. I was shocked to see how many people are agents now, because like the funnest thing I'm seeing on TV on a weekly basis is this Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed thing. Like they're basically Peter and the Giant Chicken. just is on site with them. Like hell, Bronson threw a fan at him. Bro, it's crazy, man. You see all these agents running out of the back.
Remember what you guys were saying about AEW talent not respecting the agents and the legends that are trying to, like, you know, give them some help with their characters and their matches and blah blah blah, and they really disregard anything like a legend will say. Is that the same kind of mentality, do you think, in WWE? I would not think so, but
no. WWE.
And now my next thing is, you're in AEW, which is clearly not as big as the other guys, and to have that kind of mindset in the locker room, even if it's two people, I mean, that's kind of crazy to even act like that. Because even Sting in the 90s, I look at WCW way at the time that AEW is right now versus the time WCW was. WCW was way more impactful and more important than AEW. I don't think AEW has hit any strides that WCW has hit. And Sting, being the most popular and prominent member of that roster, even he knew the WWE had more, grandeur and respect and all this sort of stuff, and that they were the second-class citizens. So I don't understand how they can walk around, the AEW locker room can walk around with their head in the air like that when you haven't done anything. It's just weird.
Because 500 fans tell them this is awesome. That's why.
There you go. That's why the environment changed as far as, you know, it. You got to. That's a whole generation of people that stood up against what they were reading about when it came to backstage politics, not knowing that they were basically doing it themselves, just in reverse. You know what I'm saying? How could you not have respect for people in the locker room like Malenko and Arn Anderson? Like right. Who does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Is crazy. So
I mean, you gotta imagine some of those people in that AEW locker room, they probably never even main evented anything. Like not a weekday show like Dynamite or a pay-per-view. And like to have that mentality, oh my God.
The local bingo hall. They had a sellout at the local bingo hall. Now they think that they like the top shit. So now we got 6 minutes left. What do you guys think about the fake news story? Because again, I always tell y'all there's a couple of sites that when I see it, because I put the story in the chat because it came from a particular site. And when I see certain sites report on it, I'm like, all right, is legit, and that's Fightful, because I was a Patreon member of Fightful.
So I got questions about this, Trevor. Go ahead, keep going. Go ahead.
No, but the fact that they now had to come back and be like, not only are they not gonna, they haven't signed, because they were saying it matter of factly, like, and they were quote sourcing this guy, quote sourcing that guy. They said matter of factly that they signed, and not only did they sign, is a multi-year deal going straight to the main roster. So they were going to jump NXT, which they should, and go straight to Raw or SmackDown and challenge for the title, because we were already booking like them against DIY, them against anybody. But now to have to come back and be like, oh man, nothing to see here, because not only have they not signed, but they're still under AEW contract.
So what type of fake news is this? Is this somebody got bad information from a source? Is this, we just want the attention, so let's just put this out there? Or, like, was it a purposeful misdirect or lie that they were doing, or was it like a reason why they did that this happened? Like, because sometimes you can say something and you truthfully believed that it was real, and then you know, beyond your control, the source didn't come through as authentic enough or whatever, or situations may have changed. Maybe there was a point where it was there and it just fell apart. But to your point, if they had a contract with AEW all this time, then there shouldn't have been anything. That should have been the first thing looked into.
Exactly.
Was the contract.
It's tampering. You can't do it. It's illegal.
Right. That will shut anything down.
That's it's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. So that's what I say. That's the reason why we're not talking about Diddy. Well, that's the reason we didn't talk about Diddy on Monday, is because I want to know everything that's going on before we just start running with hearsay and this and that. I want to get some more things under the belt to be like, okay, I know this for a fact, and we could, you know, report on this correctly and not just making up a bunch of stuff. But MD, what do you think about this fake news?
Yeah, I think it's weird because a lot of these dirt sheets, they stay on top of like contracts and stuff like that. So why was Ray Phoenix and Penta's contract so obscure that, you know, they didn't know the figures and the years on it? That's kind of weird.
Sean Ross Sapp again. I'm a $5 patron of Sean Ross Sapp. He does a thing where all he does is talk about people's contracts. So he knows all the contracts. So I don't understand how they could do this. Like, this is ridiculous. And of course, nobody will hold him to the fire and be like, hey, you can't report this matter of factly like this. You can't, bro. They said that masks were already in production. Like they had the whole thing ready.
just a sidebar, you know, keeping up with Sean Ross Sapp. So I saw a little bit about this, and you know, I know that I watch him sometimes. I know that Sean Ross Sapp and JD is beefing right now.
Oh, JD from New York. I can't stomach him. I stopped watching him.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I watch him every now and again. A lot of times he just too over the top for me. But you know, that's one of the things that he was saying, that, you know, you're supposed to be the guy that knows all the talents, contracts, and blah blah blah, this and that, and you know. So I did find it weird that even came up as a discussion when the dirt sheets supposed to be the ones staying on top of the contract. So exactly. You know, that's my thing about it.
And they pride themselves, subscribe to my thing and get exclusive news like only we could deliver. We got sources inside the industry and blah blah blah. They charge people for this. We had y'all come over here and listen to us for free. Unless you want to join the channel membership for $1.99, but whatever. They charge people for this information, because I bet you anything this was behind the paywall. I bet you anything it was behind the paywall.
What are they supposed to be? Mean Gene with the hotline?
Yeah, WCW hotline.
Hotline,
Fightful Select.
It's like you listen to Meltzer. I was listening to Meltzer the other day.
It was also in the Vince McMahon documentary, by the way.
Oh, before we get off, I do want to say something about the Vince doc, but Meltzer's another one that you ask him a question and he just goes in circular motion. Yeah, well, I heard, you know, my sources told me this, but you know, we'll have to wait and see because we don't really know. But I'm like, bro, come on, just say you don't know. It's easier to just say you don't know.
Or but just don't report on it until you do know.
you know why they can't do it? Because if they do that, then people won't listen to them, and that's the thing. Okay. That's the problem.
Hey, if I start breaking up, Trev, I'm going through Clan Town, so no, I'll just mute up. Yeah.
AKA Trump City.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, you know, all roads probably do point to the Lucha Brothers probably coming in, you know, maybe early next year, mid next year. And, you know, it'll be great. They should go straight to the main roster, but you just can't report that it's happening. They literally reported Friday and then came back Monday and said we were wrong.
But Trevor, I thought you said that the reason why a lot of people go to NXT is because they don't know the WWE, you know, cameras, setups and whatnot. So they got to spend some time in NXT just to get used to the way they run that.
Yeah, that's WWE's reasoning.
So why wouldn't they use that reasoning with the Lucha Bros? I think they should be in NXT more than the Motor City Machine Gun should be.
You gonna get a chance to get the you know why? Because as crappy as AEW is, they're still bigger than Impact. So people know the Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers are more of a known commodity than the Motor City Machine Guns. I've been watching wrestling for 40 years, almost 40 years, and I didn't know who they were, but I know who the Lucha Brothers are.
I know the Motor City Machine Guns more than Lucha Brothers.
All right, so let's get into this next one. We got 2 more stories and we done. Oh gosh, 3-hour SmackDown. Ugh. All right, this comes from SE Scoops. Last week SmackDown returned to the USA Network after 5 years on Fox. I can't believe they've been on Fox for that long, with a star-studded show featuring top names. Okay, so with Raw set to depart USA for Netflix in a matter of months and NXT's imminent move to the CW, SmackDown will soon be the only show on the network that could see a major change. This comes from SE Scoops, by the way. SmackDown will become a 3-hour show when Raw moves to Netflix in January. With the first 3-hour show coming on January 3rd, WrestleVotes reports, this will ensure that the USA Network has 3-hour weekly wrestling show, a role Monday Night Raw has filled since the brand's 1000th episode in July of 2012. I cannot believe Monday Night Raw has been 3 hours. Hold on one second. Yeah, I cannot believe that they've been on there that long. So this news comes 1 week after Dave Meltzer reported that the WWE would have an easier path to move SmackDown to 3 hours if they wanted to, now that the brand was back on USA. Last week's show saw his own share of change, including new logo. While SmackDown could soon be a 3-hour show, Monday Night Raw will soon be going back to a 2-hour format. The Red brand will drop an hour starting with his October 7th show, ahead of Raw wrapping up his time on cable. The 3-hour runtime has been a point of contention amongst fans for years, with many claiming that the show's quality has suffered due to its length. So, oh boy, 3-hour SmackDown. I'm not a fan of it, but I will say this. I wasn't a fan of the 3-hour Raw. I wasn't a fan of the 3-hour Raw, but now I see why it was a necessity, because Raw's roster is so much bigger. But Raw also lately has been so much more enjoyable to watch, and because it's the more storyline driven show, they do fill a lot of segments in that 3rd hour. But I don't think any wrestling show should be 3 hours. Like, it's crazy.
Exactly, you're diminishing the pay-per-views.
It's too much. Like, it's too much. Listen, I try. You know, when I finished watching Monday Night Raw from last week, so Monday Night Raw last week Monday it came on. I didn't finish watching it until Thursday. Thursday. It took me 4 days to watch a 3-hour show. It's too long. And now
how much of that?
Go ahead, MD.
No, I was gonna say real quick, how much of that you think is NBC?
Oh no, it's all USA. No, that
okay,
all
right.
You remember JBL used to always break down the because they start noticing that people. One thing about WWE, they're very self-aware. So if they know, well, not all the time, but sometimes when they know that people are complaining about stuff, they'll start talking about it on the air. And they would have JBL break down and be like, let me ask you fans, would you turn down? And then he would literally break down the math of how much they're getting for that 3rd hour. So I know what it is, but the problem is it becomes diminishing returns. Like it's too much. It's too much time to commit on a Friday night. I'm no way in the hell I'm going to be able to commit a Friday night to a 3-hour wrestling show, because Friday nights is when we normally go out.
That's a pay-per-view every week. That don't make sense.
That's crazy. Like I think there's too much wrestling as it is. There should be one show for WWE, one show for AEW, a NXT show, and a TNA show, and you got them all spread out throughout the week, and you have your pick. Everybody got 2 to 3 shows a week, and at some point you fall by the wayside. How could you?
Because of WCW. That's WCW's influence on wrestling.
When the last time y'all watched a AEW show? And y'all know Collision was my favorite show all last year. I haven't watched an episode of Collision this year.
Yeah, I can't deal with it.
It's too much.
Yeah, all I do is watch clips, man. YouTube, brother.
I can't even do that no more. I can't even do that. I'm starting to watch. I used to watch SmackDown every Saturday morning on YouTube. Now I can't do that no more.
Oh! Speaking of that too, I think it starting yesterday. WWE and Hulu ended their relationship, so now you can't even get the 90-minute version of WWE shows on Hulu, because that's how I used to watch it, the 90-minute condensed version. So that's it.
Yeah, well, I DVR these shows.
But yeah, I watch it on USA. But to me, SmackDown. Okay, and I can't believe I'm saying this again. I could understand Raw being a 3-hour show. The roster's bigger and they progress more storyline. To me, SmackDown isn't a good enough show outside of the main stories to warrant another hour. Think about the commitment that you're telling people. You're now telling your fans, hey, this show that we barely could keep you invested in for 2 hours outside of the main event. Hey, we need you for another hour. I can't do it. And it's killing my 5 count. I haven't been able to do a 5 count in friggin' 6 months because the shows are on too late.
Yeah, I only watched that for Roman Reigns, The Rock, and Cody Rhodes. Something, every week something happened at the end. That's the only reason I'm watching.
I can't commit to and like and it's crazy hearing us say this because we do a wrestling show, so they probably like, hey man, y'all do the show. You have to do this. Listen, this show is more tailored around the nostalgia, but we'll get into topical things if necessary. It's just too much though. It's like watching these Dolphin games. It was fun watching them last year. But the chore
because they were winning.
The chore that it is to watch this anemic ass offense every week for 3
Man, you ain't no
hours.
fan, Trevor. You ain't no fan, bro.
I'll get out of here.
It's true.
Get out of here.
I watch my Falcons faithfully every Sunday and Monday, whatever day.
Trevor's not grateful.
I have not.
You should be grateful you got a team.
I have not missed a Dolphin game in over 20 years. You know what's funny? I watched every game during the 2007 season, which was the worst Dolphin season ever. And I'll be at the Dolphin game on the 27th. So yeah, but hopefully that's Tua's return. But this is crazy, bro. Like,
yeah, but you don't have Utah Jazz level fan passion. I don't see the Utah Jazz fan passion in you.
Shit. So Raw is going to 2 hours though, and to me, weekly Raw has been SmackDown for the longest has been my favorite show, but Raw lately has just been so enjoyable. Sometimes I'm watching Raw and I'm like, damn, it's over. Like when if I watch it on the weekend and I get to watch it straight through, I'm like, damn, that was it, huh? It's over because it's just been so enjoyable. It seems to me like Raw is always doing something. They're like Vince Russo, WCW type stuff where something's always going on. Even the lowest card guy got a storyline. It's like it's always something. I'm telling you, this Bronson Reed and friggin' Braun Strowman thing is the best thing going on TV. You could have whatever 10-star match Ricochet and Will Ospreay gonna have, you can keep that. Give me Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman, because they're probably going to main event next week and they're probably breaking that ring. That's probably why they're building it like this, and they tease the superplex. So they're probably going to break that ring next Monday. But it's like Raw just gives you more. It just gives you more.
Since we're on the topic of Raw, what do you think about taking the belt off Braun Breaker, giving it to Jay?
I wouldn't have done it. Okay, so you got two things in you. The fan in me is happy that it happened because Jay can't keep losing, because eventually you're just gonna not care about him. But the Booker side of me wouldn't have done it just because it's Braun Breaker. Had it been anybody else, I mean Braun Breaker or Gunther, but had it been anybody else, the Booker and me would have been 100% okay with it. I love the match, and Jay deserves, I mean, come on, Jay, if anybody deserves it, had to run over this past 2 years.
Braun Breaker can win it again. He can win
and that's the thing. Braun could always get it back. That's why it don't bother me too much, but
that's a dumbass name too, that Braun Breaker. Like, really,
they gotta
get that guy the Steiner, man.
Yeah, hopefully this will break him out of that and be like, man, I'm not a breaker, I'm a Steiner. It's just something crazy like that. What did you think about it, MD?
I mean, I ain't have no issue with it. I don't think you're gonna have it for long. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, what are they gonna do with Braun now? What program they gonna put him in going toward Survivor Series? You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I don't think it hurt him none.
Wouldn't you like to see him against Gunther? Maybe they got rid of the title.
I'm thinking they may turn him face because the fans are too behind him. You can't have a guy that with that type of move set and expect people to boo him.
Yeah.
He comes out to the ring and everybody's barking. That's not a heel. Like what? What the hell? And when he does that damn where he runs around the ring, or they talk about how he has like the 23 mile an hour spear, that's all babyface tactics there. I think they may be turning him. I don't know who they're going to use as the catalyst to turn him, but I think they may be trying to turn him. Braun is 15 and a half years old. He should have had the title anyway. I think it should be a slow descent to breaking down, then breaking through to a face. Yeah, so you break them down to build them back up. Yeah, I can see that. That's typical WWE though. They break you down and they'll build you back up. I can see that, but I'm happy that Jay won it because nobody has genuinely garnered fan support like him. Remember, he came from under Roman's shadow and literally just like became, like he's the tops. Oh, and by the way, because Venkat don't think Cody Rhodes is any good. Cody Rhodes is the number. Cody Rhodes is the number 5. He's in the top 5 of merch sellers. No, he's in the top. He's in the top 5 of merch sellers in all of sports, not even wrestling. All of sports on Fanatics.
Oh damn!
All of sports. I'm not talking about wrestling. He's WWE's number 1 merch seller, but I'm talking about LeBron. Anybody that sells merchandise on Fanatics, Cody Rhodes is number 1. Is in the top 5. So, but I mean, again,
since when though?
They just mentioned it.
No, but they're just going off Fanatics though. Yeah, they talking about Fanatics. They talking about the Fanatics site.
Everything runs through Fanatics now. Have you tried to buy something recently? I tried to buy something off NFL.
It takes you take you straight to Fanatics.
Exactly. Everything runs through Fanatics. Everything.
Not WWE.
Yes, they do. Everything runs through Fanatics.
Everything
runs through
Fanatics. When I bought my belts, that didn't go to no Fanatics.
Well, you bought it then. They signed a new deal recently. Because when I bought my Cody Rhodes shirt earlier this year, once you go to WWE shop, it takes you right over to Fanatics.
Yeah, it takes you to Fanatics.
Yeah, everything takes you to Fanatics.
Yeah, when I bought that up, I use my Fanatics fan cash to get it.
Hey, my Fanatics fan cash is so stupid. I got so much money sitting in that damn fan cash account, and every time I try to use it, they never let me apply it. There's always something. It's always something.
Oh yeah.
You're probably buying a lot of sales stuff. That's why. But they shouldn't stop you. You should still be able to use it.
I'm not the one who made up the deals. Because like all my Florida State stuff, all my Miami Dolphins shirt, like all that stuff runs through Fanatics. So where are we? All right, so that's okay. And let's man, we're making fantastic time. All right, let's get to the final story. Let's get to the final story of the night. My friend, your friend, everybody's friend, old Tony Bartholomew Khan. So AEW to Max. So this is just a report. It hadn't been finalized, but Tony Khan is basically saying it's going to happen without saying it. I think they may even announce it today or tomorrow.
They need to announce it immediately.
This comes from the Wrestling Observer. AEW's pay-per-views will reportedly have a new home in 2025. So according to Andrew Zarian on today's Matt Men's podcast, they will stream on Warner Brothers Discovery streaming service Max beginning in January and possibly even sooner. They will be on Max in January, as Zarian said. They could do it sooner, but I know that they are planning for January. I do know that the pay-per-views are going to be on there. They don't have an exclusivity on the pay-per-views, so it will be also available in other places. It's like WWE. You can still order those pay-per-views. They are available on Peacock. Our own Dave Meltzer has see, look at that. He wanted that money. Our own Dave Meltzer has a premium article up on the site for subscribers analyzing the reported deal. Meltzer noted that pay-per-view streaming on Max is part of the package with WBD. Those close to the situations have confirmed Max being part of the pay-per-view package, although it's not detailed yet as to what form this will take. So that Meltzer wrote this. Longtime sports business journalist John Oran reported recently that AEW and WBD are set to announce a new media rights deal as early as next week. During a recent appearance on Busted Open Radio, Tony Khan wouldn't confirm the reports, but did say he's certain AEW will be on TBS and TNT for a long time. I know they have been reporting things that are very interesting. There are a lot of reports and rumors. I have not confirmed, and Warner Brothers has not confirmed anything officially, he said, adding he has not leaked any info. I think we have a really exciting future there. I can say with 100% certainty AEW and TBS and TNT are here to stay for a long time. So I mean, this is what the worst kept secret. What did Jim Ross say about Doom being under the mask? That's the worst kept secret in all of wrestling. It's coming, and it should be. I mean, because I get Max free with my internet subscription, so it should be. AEW Venkat has for so long complained you can't be charging $50 for your pay-per-view when your competitor gives them to you for free. Like you just can't. So this is I think this is a good deal for them. So my only thing is, will Warner Brothers, because when the new rights deal comes up, it's guaranteeing them money, but Warner Brothers can't look at these half-empty arenas and be okay with this. Not even half empty. These 70% empty arenas. And
yeah, it's getting worse.
They can't be happy with this. If what MD, what did you say the number was last week? Like 260?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. MD. Oh,
260.
Yeah,
260 people?
No, 260 million a year.
Oh,
for the rights deal. I know MD said he was riding through Hicktown, but yeah, I don't see this. This is not a bad deal at all. I mean, once they announce it, I think maybe this is why he's signing the way he is, because he's got guaranteed money. But you know, you get all this guaranteed money, and it's not forcing your product to be any better though. Like it's not putting asses in seats. Like it's not doing anything. It's just it's helping their bottom line.
If they're looking at like how many people actually engage and watch AEW on Max or whatever, even with WWE, if those WWE Peacock premium live events didn't have the viewership, you think when it's time to re-up that they're just going to keep getting free money. So you have to perform at some level. You do. Say what we want about WWE, but they have had some very good events and matches on their premium live events, and that's what's driving the excitement. Even though it's not all perfect, don't need to be. Just give us something decent and we're good.
So WWE's contract is up soon with Peacock, so this could be very interesting as to where they go next. Or will they do it all on Netflix? Or I don't know.
It'd be great if it's all Netflix, because now you got the old stuff and the new stuff. That would be awesome if Netflix could get that as well.
So Netflix would basically get the network, because I don't
and Raw. So they have Raw, they have the old stuff, and they have the premium live events. We hadn't had that, because even with Peacock, you don't really get Raw live. You get it after the fact or months later.
You get Raw on Peacock?
Yeah, but it's like old ass episodes, like 6 months.
It has to run for like months. Yeah. So if you can get Raw premium live events and archived events from the past, that's amazing. We hadn't had that. Yeah. So on average, I think AEW said they get like 100,000 pay-per-view buys, which, I mean, that's not bad for when you think about it. When you look at their weekly TV, their weekly TV Dynamite tops out at about 600 to 700. So if they're getting 100,000 pay-per-view buys, that's not bad. And they're not gonna take it off of pay-per-view. So Max is just an additional thing. There's people, when the WWE Network came out, I couldn't believe this. The WWE Network, $9.99, you get everything. There were people that were so against getting this network and that they still ordered the pay-per-views for $40, $50 a pop, just because they didn't want to get the network. That's crazy.
Yeah, that don't make any sense.
Like, even if you was to get the network for a year, it would pay for everything. Like, because at the time they were giving you like 3 months free. So like, I don't understand why anybody would still watch anything on traditional pay-per-view. I mean, I don't pay for pay-per-views. I got the hookup where, I watch whatever I want, and, free and clear. So that's how I've watched all of AEW stuff. So now to be able to watch it on Max, that I do get with my internet thing, I don't think is an issue. But to the point though, like, what Warner Brothers, do you think Warner Brothers is just okay with what they're getting as far as viewership? Like 600. Okay, so your competitor is WWE. So you're looking at WWE, Warner Brothers looking at WWE and like, hey, they get 2 million viewers on their 2 weekly programs. You get 500,000 to 700,000. You got to do better. Their arenas are so full that people could price gouge the tickets for triple what they're worth. We have to tarp off every arena that you're in. Do you think WBD is going to be like, hey, man, y'all got to do something, because it's just not working?
I don't think so. I think ever since COVID, all these media channels and companies have been in a frenzy to make up for the mistake of not having live sports, live content. That's why the NBA is like ridiculous right now. And that's why the NFL, everybody's doing great. All the sports that are live is doing great. UFC, everybody's doing great. And they dropped the ball when during COVID, they didn't have that. So they're trying to make up for that, make up ground. So if they can get a budget version of WWE, which is AEW, they're like, okay, yeah, you guys have these issues, but you're still a live option that'll get some eyeballs on our product. And we don't have to pay the amount of money that Netflix had to pay to get WWE. So I don't think it's that detrimental. I think the end of the day, they're just looking to get that live content. That's the big focus right now.
The WWE Netflix deal was like what, $5 billion?
Oh yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I don't think AEW gonna cost that.
Yeah, but that's crazy. That's insane. That's crazy. When we first heard the Peacock deal for like $1 billion, everybody was going crazy. But man, then they came back and did that. MD, you back?
Hey, wait a minute. Mike saying balls on your product. I didn't say balls on your product. Mike, you better stop playing with me.
MD, you back or you still in?
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're talking about the HBO Max, right?
Yeah, it
was going all over the place. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't see why they wouldn't do it. You know, ain't nobody paying $50 for no pay-per-view, bro. I'm sure as hell ain't doing it.
Well, 100,000 people do.
They committed, man. They committed. Is that so? Is that they average pay-per-view numbers, like as far as pay-per-view buys?
So I heard that from Meltzer, but you know Meltzer's in their pocket, so he'll inflate it. Because he said anywhere, he said like the bigger ones are like 100 plus. So that means when you hear people say that means on average you're probably looking more at like 50 to 75.
Yeah.
What that is those guys in that damn AEW Facebook chat.
Yeah.
Those bastards are the ones paying that 100.
Yeah. Those numbers got to be inflated, man. I don't believe 100,000. All in, maybe.
Yeah, with their big ones, and especially when you got so many different means to watch this stuff.
Yeah,
you know, now like I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $50. Okay, so here's the deal. So their pay-per-view is $50. $50 is for their pay-per-views. Let's say they take home, I forget what the split was. I heard Jim Ross mention the split, but I forgot what the split was. Say they take home 50% of that. Now they're going to Max streaming where it's included in your subscription. What are they making per pay-per-view? Because I know that was a big thing with WWE Network when it first came out, and CM Punk mentioned that. He's like, hey, these pay-per-views are $60 and you know, and I'm getting paid a percentage off the pay-per-view. Now you're giving this thing away for $10. What's up with my percentage? And that's a fair ass question. Like that's a fair question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fair. But like I said, maybe they calculated a different way. Like as far as what the discovery will get just from the stream itself. Yeah, maybe they calculated it a different way. But in any event, it's good for us. The hell with what they getting paid. Yeah, it's good for us.
Hey,
it's not just good for us because now more eyes are watching it than they would have normally. So now you're getting more exposure, and you essentially can create more fans. So
yeah, no doubt. You know, put your library on there. Not to mention the fact that, remember, people are how crazy it is. It may sound. Some people out there paying for stuff like Honor Club to watch Ring of Honor. Why am I paying to watch Ring of Honor?
Yeah,
put it on Max.
Yeah, that's great.
Put it on Max.
So you know, it's
they
funny.
Probably won't.
It's funny you mentioned that because in the new TV deal, I forget it was either Meltzer or Pollock mentioned that they want them to do an additional show. So in addition to Dynamite, in addition to Collision, now they're going to do like another show on another night that they're trying to shop to like a CW or something like that. Because CW, even though they have NXT, they aren't, you know, there's no exclusivity with NXT. Like they're basically, hey, we'll play ball with anybody, you know. So that's, but can you stop? So what I'm saying, where in the hell in AEW's pecking order do they have room to put another show?
I would argue they don't. because they can barely get people to watch Rampage and Collision. If Max is giving you the perfect opportunity, if it's true, Max is the perfect vehicle to drive your product. Like it should be a given at this point.
I think it's
put Ring of Honor, put Ring of Honor on Max. Put your pay-per-view library on Max. Hell, put the Ring of Honor library on Max. Put stuff out there that's gonna push your product. The best way to do that is to put it on a platform that most people already have. Like you said, I get it for free in my AT&T account. Most people got HBO Max. I just saw Penguin. Great show, by the way. I can't wait for the rest of that season. Put it on Max. Penguin.
The Batman. The Batman spinoff.
Didn't
put it on Max. Hey, the first episode was good. I liked it. But put ROH on Max. Put the pay-per-view catalog on Max. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't
confused, farm boy.
The hell is that? Oh, I don't disagree at all, man. I feel like, yeah, that's a given. I don't know why they waiting so damn long to announce it. They must want to do a package deal with Shane McMahon and be like, not only are we going to Max, but we signed a McMahon, not the one that we wanted, but we signed a McMahon. we signed Shane McMahon because I feel like he's going to do something with them, especially with whatever this is Moxley's doing. He may be like the figurehead behind it. He may be the finance. He may be what $1 Million Man was supposed to be to the NWO. You know, the guy with the money, financing the whole operation. He might come in. He might come in like that. I mean, I like Shane, but I don't think Shane is driving any numbers. Like I don't. They got to do something gigantic. I think the what would make them pop, they'd have to get Vince McMahon himself. They have to get Vince McMahon or Stephanie at the very least.
Enjoy destroying lives.
They'd have to get Stephanie or Vince at the very least.
It definitely won't be Stephanie.
It turns me on.
What about Linda?
Oh, jeez, that's like watching paint dry, man. Oh my God, Linda McMahon is so boring and monotone and just
it just doesn't work for me, brother.
She just oh my goodness, bro. I can't do it, man. Man, fellas, guess what? We done.
There it is.
We done. An hour and 45 minutes. And we really hit the 90-minute mark because you can't count the 5-minute intro video and the 10 minutes that I talk in front of that. So we hit the goal, 90 minutes. So station note.
It turns me on.
It is my understanding that we are doing the debate recap on Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, Wednesday.
All right. Yeah. So the debate recap will be this Wednesday in the place of Wrestling with Reality. Then Wrestling with Reality will be back the following week where we'll go through Backlash. We'll go through Bad Blood, and more importantly, what I want to go through is this Vince McMahon doc. I'm definitely going to watch it this weekend because I don't have anything to do this weekend.
I enjoy destroying lives.
Next week is the weekend that I'm gonna be completely loaded. So this is the only time I'll be able to do it, and I'm glad they got all 6 parts out. How long are they?
An hour each one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm be
45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Then I'll watch it this weekend, get my notes ready, and then we could argue about it next week. So, all right, fellas, I'm done.
It turns me on.
There it is.
There it is. I'm gonna go watch this movie with my woman, and let's see what happened. This rain do stuff to people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all be careful. They talking about it's supposed to be a 4 now when it hit landfall. And it's going it's still gonna be it's still gonna be a 1 by the time it get through Atlanta. So I remember the last hurricane that we like an actual hurricane, not a tropical depression, was like in the 90s, I believe, like in the Atlanta metro area. So yeah, they saying we might not work. Well, I got to go back Thursday, but Friday I'm not working because we're gonna be hunkering down. So yeah, they say it's supposed to be pretty bad.
So it's supposed to be hitting the Tampa area, like Tampa.
Well, it's supposed to hit the panhandle.
Yes. Well, okay. So that's like
that's where it's going. Yeah, that's where it's going to hit landfall. Then it's going to go through South Georgia up through Atlanta. Then it'll start breaking up. Then.
You know what? I just heard about this thing yesterday.
It says it's supposed to be pretty big. So
I just heard about this yesterday. That's crazy.
Being honest, somebody sent me something on my phone and said that I hog-tied her. I don't know how to hog-tie people.
Oh, that's I can't figure what the hell going on. But yeah, all right.
Hey, that's your producer, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He just love it. He'll do anything to prolong stuff, man. He just. Hey, but y'all make sure and check out Tape His Politics from last night, especially that lame duck. I got to go back and look up that guy, because he on some weird stuff. Tomorrow night I do have we have a debate tomorrow night. Oh wow, I forgot about that. We do have a debate tomorrow night. Reginald Young be taking on It Must Be Written. Then Friday the Straight Talk Therapy Sessions will be making their debut episode this Friday. Dr. Mia and the Queen of Straight Talk Society, Nene. Then tune in Monday for Man Talk Monday. We will be talking about Diddy. I'm surprised Mike didn't say anything about the title, because the way I titled it, I figured Mike would have been the only one to understand the play on words that I did. But nevertheless, anyway, fellas, man, great show, man. Great show. Great sticking to the time limit. I love that. Venkat actually stopped when he heard the buzzer go up. That's crazy.
What would I hold? My kids is listening to this.
All right, fellas. He like a little kid, man. They just oh my goodness, man. Hey, man, and again, man, to Brian, rest in peace, Brian. Your family, to my cousin, because he was my cousin's best friend. I know my cousin listened to the show, so if you listen to it later, you more than welcome to come on too, because I know you big into wrestling, not as much as Brian, but you're always welcome to come on, man. So rest in peace to Brian, man. Make sure you guys take care of your heart, man. 44-year-old shouldn't be dying of no heart attack. That's crazy. Shouldn't be happening. No
doubt. All right, fellas.
You must be confused, farm boy. That title, that's my title. And you don't even realize it, because I'm going to smash you at WrestleMania. And it's not even your fault, bro.
I think I just going through all the
This is my show. This is my ring.
Going through all the motions, man.
This is my cameraman.
All right, you done? Peace, everybody.
Now the whole world can acknowledge me.
You'll get the shit. You'll be knee deep in the shit.
Brother, I'm gonna take you home.
What?
You're gonna be mine. The belt will be mine. The world will be mine. Shivani, I'm gonna get that belt back. I will stop at nothing in this entire